Hello and welcome to my channel. I am Domina Della Pie, Mistress Sasha Stone. I am happy again because, well, it's spring, it's my season, it's Aries time, and birthday coming up soon. So we're in March, but my birthday is in April. I'm an Aprilarian. And it's exciting to me because the sun is shining more. I am always happy to see the sun shine, and the temperatures are milder, and soon the little snakes will be coming out of their wherever they are hibernating, and they will be scaring me on my path when I go along for my walk. Yesterday I went for the walk. I didn't see any little baby snakes. They fascinate and freak me out. I jump up and down screaming when I see them, and they kind of gross me out in a way. Well, the little ones don't gross me out. They gross me out just a little bit. But I don't want to see the bigger ones, so oh God, no. But I am a nature girl. It's just that worms and snakes have never been, my cuppa. Although now, lately in the garden, if I'm standing and there's a worm near my foot, I won't jump and scream anymore. I will just move away a little bit. So, yeah. So anyway, I want to talk about sex workers and how sex workers give an impression of themselves that they're not. And I'm here to debunk the image of the sex worker. As me myself being a sex worker, though I haven't done any sex work in a while, I will soon be back on that track as a domina. So, the impression, I guess you go by the ads, the girls and boys place ads of themselves, and aren't they the most beautiful models? And the girls all made up, all their makeup on, they all red lipstick, sex worker, red lipstick, lots of lip gloss, and of course the makeup, the cosmetics, and the wig, the weaves, the hair done, in the white girls too, the white and the Asian girls, because white and Asian girls don't have naturally thick hair. Okay, when you see them with this very thick looking hair, that's a weave. It's not only the black women wearing weaves. Just get that out of the way. So, it seems as though they are what they call themselves my fans, and they've actually kind of been upset because I have not been showing anything of myself. I've not been putting any videos or photos out. I am pretty much just using my old images because I'm not really ready yet. And I have had to learn about readiness because I tended in the past to put things out as is, like raw. And, I'm living in a world that's so superficial, artificial, plastic, that I'm like, well, maybe I should become a little more plastic. It's not going to happen. I'm an earth girl. I'm an islander. I love my bare feet on the ground. I love to sun gaze. I love the sun on my skin, sucking up the vitamin D. I love, the look of my melanin as my skin tone changing, and just the feeling of strength I get by being fed through my skin by the sun. I love it all. And, sex workers, they are working usually inside, in a room, in a hotel room, in a bedroom, in the girl's place. Some of them do it in the car, in the alley, in the club. But, it's generally indoors. And for their customers, they are appealing especially to the male gaze. And so they are all, there's a perception that the males have of us. And so the women reinforce that by insisting on wearing all these fake eyelashes, eyebrows, lipstick, blah, blah, blah. I wore those things, but I never wore fake eyelashes or eyebrows or stuff like that. I just put a little foundation on my face, or maybe powder, to even out my skin tone, and that's pretty much the extent of my cosmetics. I like to look like myself. I see a lot of the women out there, they look like each other. They look like they may be related, and that's including the black, the white, the Asians. They all do their makeup the same way. That is so bizarre to me. So I like my uniqueness and individuality. Now there is It's like an expectation that the males have when they see us, and they see us in our big boots, our stiletto heels, thigh highs, and short shorts and leathers and latex, and the fetish wear, the long gloves, and the en côte fromage. Well, they are. It's titillating to them, but it seems to make them kind of, I don't know, like they cease to function in the mentally, intelligently. Like they cannot think, hey, that's a real person. It's a human. I believe they call them human people. Yes. Do you know that this is a facade? This is an image. This is a character. She's playing this part. It's theater. For this reason, when I did domination, I never worked every day. I seldom worked every day. In fact, I would space my schedule. It would be like every other day, or I would work twice a week, maybe 3 times a week. There are 7 days in a week. I never worked 7 days. But there are the girls who work 7 days, and some of them work around the clock because they have something to prove. They want to live a particular lifestyle. They want to have these, labels, these European labels. They want to have the designer stuff that is impressive to their peers. They must all have the iPhone and the latest iPhone. Oftentimes, for instance, the strippers, they're paying for their phone, but they're also paying the phone of their family members, their mom, their sister, their brother, their boyfriend. Oftentimes, their boyfriend, also known as their pimps. The stripper paying for the pimp's phone. So these girls have a lifestyle due to their choice of living beyond their means. So they're always in debt. And for that reason, they have to always be on call, on the go, ready. So their nails, they get their mani-pedi done at the whatever spa, and they get their hair done. Sometimes they do their own hair in the change room at the strip club. And then of course they are the prostitute. I don't know what they call them. Hooker, whores. The whores. They say sex work. Sex work encompasses the entire gamut of, specialties. Like I said, domination, stripping, massage, cam girls, different areas of the industry, including even porn stars. So you see the porn star is dressed for the porn, for the film, okay? No, she goes home. She's not going around the house like a porn star. And the stripper, same thing. Unless if she's got her pimp boyfriend, in which case they gotta maintain some of that illusion, because it's the guys that are driving this. They are the ones demanding that the girls look this particular way. But in reality, the girls wake up like every other girl and is a regular girl, right? Like me. I think many of the guys who are pursuing me, they will be very disappointed to see how I live, because I don't wake up. Like, I know girls who wake up and immediately they are getting their makeup on, and they're doing their grooming and getting dressed, and they're ready to work. They're ready. And those are the girls who are solely focused on the money, and they make a lot of money. So that is a lifestyle. You see, I don't have that kind of lifestyle. I don't make that kind of money because I'm not making myself available to any person who calls me, because I like to be selective. I like to say yes or no, whether or not I want to see you. And there's criteria to follow. One of them, that is, you be over the age of 40. And I even increased it, I believe, now to 45 the last we worked. Because the younger the guys are, the more of a pain they tend to be. And sometimes they don't want to pay. They try to be your boyfriend. It gets messy and silly and just a waste of time and irritating, in fact. Because as a domina, for instance, I don't know about the others, but as a domina, when I am ready to work, I'm ready to work. It's a mindset. I get into that mind space, head space, and I'm ready to do a call. And I'm dressed apart, right? But when the client leaves, as soon as the client leaves, first thing comes off, my shoes. those high heels must come off immediately, followed by my bra. You know, if you're wearing latex, that must come off. Man, this is like torture. I refuse to wear latex unless if you pay me very well. Because to me, latex is like getting into bondage. Latex is very difficult to get in and out of. And so I applaud those of you who are workers, sex workers who wear latex, because it's so appealing. It looks so nice and hot and sexy, and it holds everything in place. If your body is not that great, you can put something latex on and bam, you suddenly have a body. It's so funny. Many years ago, there was a part of Toronto. It was a street called Jarvis, and that was the street where they call them streetwalkers, the hookers, also known as prostitutes or whores. They would stand on that strip, Jarvis Street, and the men would drive by in their cars, processions of men, driving very slow and cruising, checking out the girls. And the girls were on this sidewalk wearing their very short skirts, very short shorts, their high heels, their high heel boots, thigh-high boots. In fact, those were the girls who were wearing those outfits. And sometimes there would be, women in the cars with the men and calling the girls, calling them names, yelling at them, girls walking past, calling them names, and I felt so bad. I would see the girls. Sometimes we would drive by to check out the girls too, because I want to see the girls. Wow, those are these boots. We got to get those boots. I would go with my transgender partner. We would be like scoping out the girls and their outfits. So we got to get that. So these streetwalkers were the ones who really set the stage and the fashion trend of those thigh-high boots. And so I would hear so many regular girls, the girl next door, they would be like whore, calling them names and very angry. Women would be venomous and mean and nasty, saying, not very nice things. And I knew it was because of their jealousy and envy. They wish they could wear those outfits and look that hot and have guys, slowing down to look at them. I never want that kind of attention. But somehow, I don't know who decided that they didn't want the hookers on the street. It came around the same time as so when they went from off the street, then they became in the back pages. They were in the back pages of these newspapers, and then somebody didn't want them there either, right? So now where are they all? They are all online now. All the hookers, all the strippers, all the whores, the cam girls, the dominas, they're all online. They are all online. So what you see online, you see them again in those outfits, and the impression is that this is how they live. And again, I say the only ones who live this way are those who live this way like 24/7, and that way they never lift a finger to do a thing for themselves. So they have some service wash their clothes, do their laundry, right? They have a service clean their condo. They have cooking. They are always eating out, ordering in. They never cook a meal. In fact, they have no such thing as pots and pans. They're not regular girls. So I'm doing this recording just so you guys know, when you're going out looking for girls, those girls, you are attracted to them. They're attractive girls. They make themselves appealing to you. However, this is their job. It's their occupation. You have to pay for that. And this is why many of the guys involved with many of these girls become their pimps, because then they convince the girls that they need protection. The girls don't need protection. They don't. But the guys convince them. The guys will go as far as beating up a girl, robbing her, and he'll have his thug friends, attack her, rape her, and rob her. And then she will obviously then need security, because look what could happen to you if you don't get us. Hire me. I'll be your security. So these are things these girls have to be mindful of. So, and then also, as soon as family and friends discover what they do, then everybody has their hands out. So there's a lot of pressure for these sex workers, right? Now there is someone like me. I don't care. I need a few bucks. I'll place an ad or do a call with a colleague. But I was never one to really be 24/7 on call that way. No. it's a ritual, when the client calls, books an appointment. Okay, I have an appointment for such and such a day, and then I wake up and I'm in a certain mood and I get things rolling. I get into character. Then I can do my call. Now, after my call, if somebody else wants to see me, then I'm already dressed, and that's fine. I'll see them. But more than likely, I will say no, because again, I was in that particular headspace for that particular time with that particular client. Different clients request different activities. So, but I wanted to say to one guy in particular who has me in some kind of as an illusion. He has an impression of the person that I am, and this is why I don't really want to meet him, because he'll see me. If he sees me dressed as a domina, then he sees me and I'm my regular self. He's not living in reality. I believe this guy abuses substances. I believe he may be heavily into drinking and drugs and Molly and all of that, and then he's also seems to be a sex addict, and he's addicted to attention. He's an attention whore. So these are not qualities that I embody. I don't represent any of that stuff. I don't want extra attention on me. So I think we may be clashing. But I said that the masculine doesn't want to explain himself to the feminine. The reason why the feminine requires explanation is to set things straight so that we are on the same page, just to make sure we're not heading down the path together and we are not compatible. So the masculine doesn't want to explain himself to the feminine. The feminine just wants to know, hey, where do you disappear to? Every weekend you disappear for a few days. Like, where do you go? Who are you with? And who do you live with, and what do you do on the weekends, and what do you do at night, and what are you doing with yourself? What's your job? What's your occupation? What do you do for a living? How many sex partners did you have last week? These kinds of things. What are you eating? What did you have for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks? Little things. I just want to know what's your lifestyle? When was the last time you cooked yourself a meal? Do you go out in nature? You live in a place where it's kind of mild. It's a lot. It's not as cold as where I live, so I would be taking advantage of that, and I'd be out and about, out in nature. But you don't seem to be the type who is in commune with nature as I am, right? But the masculine doesn't want to explain himself to the feminine, except to say, I'm single, and I have options. And I'm single. And I'm like, well, I don't want to be involved or paired with a guy who calls himself single. And what does single mean? When you guys throw single around, it's like you're showing off and boasting. Oh, look at me, I'm slinging my dick around town. I'm community peeing, and nobody can tie me down. Well, you know what? You're being a damn jackass. So you keep slinging that peen, because what you're gonna find? You're gonna find there, like, quantity does not come close to quality. And what you black males must be doing is selecting carefully, so you don't end up with yet another ratchet. Tot. Is that what they call it? Tot? Their thoughts. That hole over there. And then they can't do shit for you. They can't do anything with you, but maybe have some sex, do drugs and have some sex. And maybe you get into a threesome. Oh, aren't you exciting? You're having an orgy. Oh, but you're not thinking about, you see, I also go beyond this raw, because it's I don't even think it's passion. It's a lust, and it's like a devilish kind of thing, because it takes you away from yourselves. You don't realize how much you're drowning in the lower levels, in the bowels of the sewer. So the masculine doesn't want to explain himself to the feminine, but expects things to continue. The feminine says no, because she too has options, even better than the masculine. The masculine has never met someone on the level of the feminine. She surpasses his options in every way, and in fact, they don't measure up, just like he doesn't measure up and won't level up. As long as he continues to be sneaky and sworn to his own secrecy, never sharing anything of himself but shots of sex energy that have become less and less potent, since the feminine is already looking elsewhere as the masculine appears as a shadow of his former grandiose self. Because when he approached you with his charm and charisma, accent and words, seduction, that's a very different person from who he actually is. You see? That's the part you all fail to miss. The guy who's chatting in your ear and texting and chatting in your ear on the phone is not the same guy. He doesn't live his life this way. You see, like the stripper becomes a stripper when she's on the street walking to the club. You don't recognize her as the stripper. She goes into the club. She goes upstairs to the dressing room. 2 hours later, 3 hours later, she comes down. That's the stripper. You would never recognize her if you saw her on the street because it's a very different person. So the masculine appears as a shadow of his former grandiose self, a huge black hole encased in blocks of cement. He is cold, hard, useless to an empress because arrogance created by his drugs of choice gave him bravado and false self-esteem, all based on his appearance and his penis. He's broke and dependent, and she could take him in, but she requires more than a wet ass pussy. His ability to give her that wet ass pussy has rapidly diminished. Let him go and chase his options. Feminine empress is never an option. The thought of that is just vile. An empress is never just an option. And for you to not recognize that you were holding the attention of an empress, you just threw her away as you boasted, you threw in her face your options. What are your options? Look at your options and look at the empress. Get real now. So those of you who want to have your cake and eat it too, you're living with a woman because you cannot care for yourself. So the woman is paying the bills. The woman is taking care of this and taking care of that. And you are there as a penis. You have relegated yourself to the role of just a dick. You're not even a complete man. You're just a dick. And I'm saying that there are those of us, women, who want more than just a dick. Like a lot of these strippers, they have their boyfriend / pimp. All he is in their life is just a dick. But he tries to elevate his status of being just a dick by calling himself security. I'm security. And that way he feels entitled to take her money. You got to be very mindful of these guys when they come into your lives. They are drawn to you. They see you're a sex worker because sex worker, you make money, right? That's how they see it. But there are different types of sex workers. There are sex workers who work every day around the clock, and there are those who are infrequent. So it's about different monies as well. So be sure when you choose that you choose the right one. Now, if you are looking for depravity, you're not going to find it around me. I do sex work. Yeah, I do domination. But I don't get on the levels that you perhaps require or would be expecting me to be involved in. So yes, I am Mistress Sasha Storm, the artist, also known as Domina Della Pie. And the subject is sex work, sex workers, and those males and women who they attract. Sometimes we attract people who are not suited to us. They expect us to be dolls, like Barbie dolls. Me, I love gardening. I love to garden. It's really difficult to do gardening with your perfectly manicured nails. Yes, I'm certain that there is some hoe somewhere who is gardening with her long nails, but that's unrealistic and it's idiotic as well. Okay, same with the cooking. There are, first of all, we are taught in chef training school not to wear jewelry. You shouldn't have rings on your fingers. I see so many people doing cooking shows with how many rings on their fingers. People calling themselves chefs and they have their ring on their finger and they are kneading the dough with the freaking ring on their finger. Like, I don't understand. The world doesn't have to be so out of order. Everybody can do their part to maintain some standard, some level that is, just to me, an elevation of yourself. Bring yourself up a little higher. It's always possible. Yes, with your feet firmly planted on the ground, right? I'm not superficial or shallow, but unfortunately I seem to attract these types of males. You know, I need guys around me who are gonna want to do the work with me. You know, I can be in the garden and not get that dirty. You know, you get as dirty as you want to get. You guys get dirty having sex with people you don't know, and random people, random sexcapades, and you don't even consider cleanliness then, right? But you're concerned about, ooh, you got some dirt on my white, what do you call them? Sneakers or kicks. Our kicks. Don't get dirt on our kicks. Well, these are the guys who are, I guess, they're fuckboys. And I think the best thing they should do, or they could do possibly, is to offer themselves up as sex workers, become sex workers. But most likely, the people who will pay for them will be men. So they have to be open to being maybe bisexual. They probably are already. A lot of these guys who are acting so alpha male, I'm an alpha male. No, you're not. You're a bisexual male. Yes, I am Domina Della Pie, Mistress Sasha Storm. Please like, share, subscribe. Thank you. Good day.